We are going to start with creating a new template. This is how you create a new template. You go to open, new indicator, and this will pop up a new template, new indicator template. Let's add that to the chart. What you're looking at is a plot of the close price, right? And if you want to overlay that on top of the price, you'll have to set the overlay parameter to true. Okay. Add that to the chart, and voila. So now you have your close price. You have a line that follows the close price on the chart, on top of the candles. Okay. While we build our crossover moving average, we will set overlay to false for now. This is the same as if you remove that parameter, it's the same as setting that parameter to false. There we go. So we will start by adding a plot of the fast moving average. We'll start building from there. This is a method that's used for adding a simple moving average, right? Your source can be the open price, close price, your high or your low, right? As per your candle. We will be using the close price, and for our length we'll look at the 5-bar moving average. It's a series. I'll name it fast and I'll color it green. For now, let's add that to the chart. Great. We have our fast moving average. Let's add the slow moving average. Our slow moving average will be, let's use 20 for this example. And let's give it the color red. Update. Great. So now you have your fast moving average and your slow moving average, and the rules are as soon as the fast moving average crosses over as soon as your fast moving average crosses over the slow moving average, you go long, and when your fast moving average crosses under your slow moving average, you short your stocks, right? Let's see how this looks on the chart. Overlay is equals to true. Comment out the close price for now. Great stuff. Looks good so far. Let's see. So if we were using this, it would have crossed over this line, right? The first line would have crossed over the slow line here, signaling a buy, and this would have been a good buy, right? Good buy. And then we have some noise right here, and we have good short signals over here and over here. Cool. Let's continue. We also need a way to change our length, the length of the fast line and the length of the slow line. We need to be able to change that on the UI. So for that we will have to add inputs. Let's just do this. Copy. Great. So we are going to have our inputs, and this is where we will plot all of our lines, and then we are going to need indicators. This is fine for now. So for our input we need input, let's name it fast fast moving average input. Input integer, the default value will be 5. The title is fast moving average. Let's call it fast input. And okay, that's all for now. And this is our slow input. Slow MA, the default input for the slow line will be 20. Great, so now we have our inputs. If we update that and test, this is what it looks like. If you change that from a 5 to, let's say, 50, it will change your fast moving average. Well, not yet. It won't change just yet because we still need to link that to the plot. Right. So let's create our indicators first, and then we will link them together. So fast moving average is equals to technical analysis and for the length we will now be using the fast moving average input instead of using a static number. And here we have our slow moving average, which is equals to technical analysis of the slow moving average input. Great. So now that we have our moving average indicators, right? We have our lines. We can now replace the static plots with these variables. Let's see if that works. Okay. Change the 5 to a 50 and voila. Now you have a slower line, a line that is much slower than the 20 moving average. So the green line is now a 50 moving average, and the red line is now a 20 moving average. And if you were trading using these two lines, you would put long entries when the red line crosses over the green line, and short entries when the green line crosses under the red line. Let's look for examples where the red line crosses under the green line. There, right there. So from here to there, this would have been a very good short order. Okay. So now we have our inputs on the UI. We have our inputs, we have the indicator, we have the fast and slow indicators. Let's change the parameters around and see if we can find something that has less noise, basically. All right. So a crossover moving average will work well on a ranging market, right? When the range of the prices is quite high, when we have high volatility in the market, it will work quite well. But when the market is consolidating, you will get a lot of noise. You'll get a lot of false signals, is what we call them. Right? We refer to them as noise. It's false signals. So let's overlay this actually. Play around with the parameters, do a bit of a manual parameter optimization and see what we can come up with. Actually, no. I'm gonna do this from this window, and I need the close price to be visible. Great. Minimize this. Okay, we have a bit of noise here. We need to change, excuse me, the naming convention there. Slow input. Update the chart. Let's see. Fast and slow. Great. Let's change that to a 50, that to a 20. Aha. Now it's less noisy, and it gives less signals than before. Let's change the signals one more time. Let's change it from 50 to 100. Okay. This is way much better than before. So this is 100 and 20. Yep, I can work with this. Okay. So now we've optimized our parameters a bit. The next thing we're gonna do is add arrows on the crossover sections, right? Okay. We will add up arrows on a crossover and a down arrow, an arrow pointing downwards on a cross under. So we will need two Boolean values, crossover, technical analysis, crossover. Okay, cool. And another nice thing about TradeView is that you can learn you can learn about the method that you are using from the tooltips. So that's a nice feature. Okay. Plot shapes, plot shape, series, crossover. Title will be crossover. And the style will be shape, arrow up. The color should be green. Let's update the chart and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm expecting to see something somewhere here. No, there. Somewhere here. There we go. There it is. So we had a crossover here, the fast moving average crossed over the slow moving average, and voila, we have an up arrow. We need to fix the size, make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it large. Update the chart. Voila. So now we can see our crossovers at a glance, including the noise. We are only interested in these crossovers. This one, this is a nice crossover also. So we will have to add another indicator to filter out the noise. This is going to be a cross under, title cross under. It's going to be arrow down, let's make this one red, and it needs to be large. We don't have a cross under yet. Cross under TA cross, oops, cross under that. Let's see if that works. Voila. So now we have our, that's a nice cross under actually. This one not so much. So we have a few false signals. That's a nice cross under. Okay, cool. So now we need to get rid of the noise, right? And for that we can use, let's see, let's try an oscillator, a stochastic RSI. So ideally, if we had a stochastic RSI and we changed the values to, let's try 30, so let's change the RSI length from 14 to, let's try 21. Okay, that's too small. Let's change it to 100. Will this help us avoid noise? I don't think so. Let's take this back to 14 and change that to 50 and 50. Right. And we just changed the smoothing values, right? Smoothing is when you add, if you were to do that programmatically, ta.sma, it's like a smooth moving average on top of a smooth moving average, and you would smooth this by, at the moment it was smoothed by 3. We just changed it to something like 50, right? It reduces noise or false signals, but the only downside is that it adds lag to your signal, right? Let's see how this looks and if we can work with it. Right. So if we were to combine these two, we would only accept this cell signal as a cell signal if the RSI was under the signal line. If the stochastic RSI was under the signal line, this would get rid of that noise. We would still have that, and I'm assuming this one works a little bit. let's add this, and let's add this to our indicator and see if we can remove the noise. First, you need to save your indicator, give it a name, my crossover. Let's name it 1, my crossover. Great. And let's bring this code down here. What we need from here is these values. Copy. Let's open our indicator. It was 1, my crossover. Add that to the code. So when we add another indicator, we now need to group our indicators so that we know that for this our fast moving indicator, our fast and slow indicators are grouped in one place, and our stochastic inputs for our stochastic indicators are grouped separately. Right. Group averages. I'll show you what this looks like in a minute. There, moving averages, you have your fast and your slow inputs. 20 and 100. Let's default those numbers to 20 and 100 so that we don't lose them. Add a comment. Stochastic. Then add the code that we took from the stochastic indicator. In our example, we turned this into 50 and 50. The smoothing was 50 and 50. That. This is our signal line and this is our RSI. So we are going to plot the crossover when we have a crossover and K is greater than D. K is greater than D, yep. And for the cross under, K needs to be less than D. Let's update that on the chart and see if the noise is reduced a little bit. Play with the values a little bit. Let's turn it to 100. 100. That's actually a good signal. Goodbye signal. Goodbye. Sell, buy, bit of a false sell, buy. Okay, so it's not bad. Buy, it's not bad. I'll take this for now. And you can continue to add more filters to increase your indicator's accuracy, right? Let's add an indicator to turn the moving averages on and off, right? We'll call it show moving average. Input, this is going to be a Boolean input. The default value will be false. Title will be show moving averages. Show moving averages. Right, so moving averages, default value is fault, the title is show moving averages. When this value is true, we are going to plot these lines, and when it's false, we won't plot these lines. Now how do I change that? Okay, got series title color display. Nope, it's not the display. It's not the display attribute. Let's see. Series title color line with style, track price. Okay, so I need to change the style. Lot dot and use that, right? And then change the fast moving average to